Unless you live under a rock, Jamal Musiala is the name you should be very familiar with. The 20-year-old is one of the best young attacking midfielders in the world, apart from me of course. And in this video I want to dive into what makes him such a good dribbler. We're going to be looking at 3 skills that he uses a lot and how to improve them and implement them into your game.
Skill number 1, Lacroqueta.
Although the Lacroqueta was popularised by Iniesta and Messi, and there's countless clips all over YouTube of those guys absolutely ripping people with that skill, the Lacroqueta is probably Jamal Musiala's most used skill. It's almost guaranteed that he will try one of these in a game, and it's almost guaranteed that it will be successful. So let's just have a quick look at the technique needed for a Lacroqueta. So with a Lacroqueta, you don't want to slap the ball from one foot to another. You want to gently drag it across the floor. You want to make sure you're using your inside of your foot and hitting the inside of the ball in a scoop motion. You also don't want the scoop to be directly sideways. This means that your second touch might come off your heel. Instead, aim to do that scoop slightly forwards so you can push the ball off the inside of your foot and explode out.
Skill number 2, the flick over the foot.
Now this skill is essentially just slightly raising the ball over someone's foot. So for example, if you're on the touchline and you can't escape pressure, you just raise the ball over their foot when they lunge in, and it's a very effective skill used by Musiala here. Now in that clip that you just saw, Musiala was using the outside of his foot to scoop the ball, but the majority of the time you're going to be using the middle of your toes. If their foot is in the way but you can just slightly lift the ball over their foot, it's a great way to escape pressure and drive forward with the ball. Now, when it comes to the height of the scoop, you don't want it to be too high, as obviously you'll have to wait for the ball to drop and you're at risk of being tackled again. So the ideal height for the scoop should be just over their foot and below knee height.
Skill number 3, drop the shoulder.
Now the drop of the shoulder is one of the oldest skills in football, but is also one of the most effective. Players like Stanley Matthews nearly 100 years ago were using this skill, and there's a reason why it still thrives in today's game through players such as Jamal Musiala. It's such a simple skill, but yet it's so hard to defend, and when you can really master this skill, it becomes a weapon that very few defenders can deal with. And you might think that this skill is easy and you don't need to watch this tutorial, but I'll show you a few tips and techniques that can really take this skill to the next level. So with the drop of the shoulder, you want to try and aim to drop both your shoulder and your knee. This will really make the skill more effective, as it will shift the weight distribution of your defender and make it more convincing that you're going to go in one direction before you explode out into the other. See if you can tell the difference between these 2 clips. In both of them I'm dropping the shoulder, it's the exact same skill. However, the one on the right is far more effective, as I'm dropping both my shoulder and my knee, which really sells the skill more and makes it much more effective. But Musiala isn't just a good dribbler, his finishing is also what makes him a top player, and if you want to know how to finish like him and slot it bottom corner like he does here, click on the video on the screen right now.